perfect. Kind of wish YouTube would let me do the green screen prep before I had to start the stream, but what are you gonna do, right, guys? So let's do this. Yeah. Hey guys, it's Ty from the Gaming Helm, and today on Hang at the Helm, Part 4, we're gonna take a look at a couple of things coming down the pipe. In case if the thumbnail or the green screen didn't tip you off, we're gonna go after Doom a little bit today. I'm actually really excited that Dark Ages is coming out in May 15, so it's just around the corner. Trailers have dropped, dev diaries have also been released, and some developments have happened, and some of it good, and of course some concerns. I'm not going to say bad yet, because I don't declare anything bad until the game actually releases. Until then, you can say concern, but it's not proven bad yet. You know what I mean? This is how I look at it. I want to reserve any real judgment until I get a chance to try the game out myself. So far, it looks like it's promising graphic-wise. It's going to be a prequel, and I think because of Eternal's ending, the previous game, they kind of wrote themselves into a corner, so they decided to make this one a prequel instead of a continuation. But still, there was so much lore, not even really specified in the previous game Eternal, that they decided, okay, maybe they want to fill some plot holes, show instead of tell, by giving you, the gamer, a chance to play the game out, and you'll get to see, how Doom Guy became Doom Slayer, things like that, and how the Betrayer earned that title, get to see Argent Deneur, I think that's how you pronounce that planet's name, the Sentinels, and how life was before, hell and heaven corrupted it in their little stranglehold. So I think it's really interesting the way the Dark Ages is going to tell the story of the prequel setting. It's all good. I got my notes today. Welcome to the Gaming Helm if you're just getting here, and you're gone. Whatever, it's all good. Yeah. Now, just give a second for more people to show up. Yep, I got my notes. Yeah, I wanted to make sure before doing the stream I did a little bit extra homework, and that that way you can see that I'm not just making stuff up. I actually did some studying, and yeah, Dark Ages looks like it's going to be a solid game, but there is a little bit of concerns from Eternal that I'm hoping do not spill over into the next one. And the big one is Mick Gordon. He was the composer that did the legendary soundtrack for Doom 2016 and Eternal, but due to problems arising between him and Bethesda, id Software, and of course Marty Stratton, unfortunately, he famously quoted himself saying, "I did not abandon Doom, I left a toxic client." That's a quote. He said that. Now, Bethesda, id Software, and Marty, they literally just threw this guy right under the bus, saying, "Oh, he's so unprofessional, he's like the worst dude ever." But if that's the case, then why'd you hire him in the first place? That sounds like they overplayed their hand just a little bit. They just went a little too hardcore. And in doing so, Randy Shield, Annex Canada from Canadian. Okay then. A little bit off topic, buddy, but whatever, it's all good. Annex from a Canadian. I'm assuming you're the Canadian that wants Canada annex. Whatever. We're not here to talk about politics. This is a gaming channel, all right? Wrong stop for you, buddy. Yeah, I try to, there's 3 things you don't talk about at the table. Politics, that's one of them, okay? That's how I treat my channel. Anyways, that said, so Marty Stratton, he looked like he had a personal vendetta with poor Mick Gordon, and it took Mick 2.5 years before he finally came out and responded to the open letter that basically tried to character assassination him, and it was pretty huge because Mick, again, got my notes. He stressed that the work conditions were deplorable. He had to work somewhere between 18 to 20 hours every single day. He had to sleep at his office for many days at a time, and he was not paid for 11 months, but he kept working on Doom Eternal, which is insane. That's a man of patience right there, Mick Gordon, and was owed money by Bethesda from previous work that they never ponied up on. It's like, I mean, you could tell this guy's all about the artwork and not the money, or else why would he continue to work with these guys when they still owed him money from previous work and they're still not paying him? And then when it all comes to a head, they character assassinate him. The OST for Doom Eternal that came out was not even handled by Mick. He was actually contractually obligated not to even listen to it, and it turned out really crappy. It was mismanaged, horribly edited by its software side of things, and then they all just decided to blame it on Mick. And then 2.5 years later, he clears the air. He tells us just how bad things really were, and eventually he did get paid. Eventually. I'm assuming it's after the 11th mark. I mean the 11th month mark. But yeah, they expected him to do 2 levels worth of soundtrack every single week. I think it was. Don't quote me on that. Maybe every 2. Yeah, 2 levels worth of soundtrack a week, right? So they really wanted to speed things up. But here's the thing: you can't rush art. Music is art. You don't believe me? Listen to Doom 2016. When I first bought my brother a copy of Doom 2016 on PS4, that's when it came out, PS4 and Xbox One era. Instead of watching my brother play the game, I watched my brother react every time that sweet metal music kicked in. Every time he started just going, ding, ding. Oh my God, that showed me that there was magic in the Doom 2016 soundtrack. Oh, Eric Ramsey, dude, love to see a gay man on live. Respect, bro. Sorry, hate to bust your bubble, bro. I'm actually married to a woman. I'm straight. Don't know where that's coming from. If that's your attempt at trolling, or misunderstanding, whatever. Don't really care either way. So back to the story. Yeah. So the way things went with Mick Gordon, he finished his job. He eventually got paid, but then he eventually just said, "No, I'm not gonna go and work for them again." He's done. He's had enough with the mistreatment. I don't blame him. And since then, Marty, who was director on Doom Eternal, he's now no longer director. He's the executive producer. So that sounds like a small demotion, because executive producer still holds a lot of sway, a lot of clout, as it were. The new director is a guy named Hugo Martin. Don't really know too much about him. And as far as who's taken over the soundtrack for Dark Ages, is a company. They're called Finishing Move, and they actually do have a decent resume. They worked on soundtracks for other games like Halo Wars 2, Borderlands 3, Crackdown 3, and the Callisto Protocol. Now, I've never played Borderlands 3 or Crackdown 3. I've seen Borderlands 1 being played, but that doesn't really count. But I do respectfully remember Halo Wars 2's soundtrack being pretty damn good. Callisto Protocol I've also played as well, but despite how great the game was graphically, mechanically, even story-wise, except for the ending on that DLC that kind of sucked, I still don't really remember anything standing out with the Callisto Protocol's soundtrack. But despite that, yeah, so it looks like the composers, they're well established, but they seem to have a penchant for working on sequel titles, which I know, yes, Dark Ages is a sequel of sorts, a prequel, whatever. It's not like the first game in a franchise, but hopefully they do what they can to give us a decent performance, because these are big shoes to fill. This is my concern, but I don't count it as a negative yet. It's my concern with Dark Ages, because we're just not going to be any Mick Gordon. The fact that our old buddy Marty is not in charge anymore, but he still might have a lot of clout. He might whisper into Hugo Martin's ears, like Shadow King, run things from behind the scene. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But there are concerns. But I'll wait for the game to come out. I'll give it a fair shake. And then, yes, I am going to cover it on the Helm. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Yeah. And next week's episode, if you actually tuned in for this Friday's episode, I gave a little, taste, a little trailer, little teaser, if you will. That next Friday's episode is going to be a Doom retrospective of sorts. It's not going to be like an hour-long deep dive. I really don't have the time in my free time to make huge videos like that. So what I'm going to probably do is make it like a 10-minute breakdown of how Doom started, the highs, the lows, and there have been, even before this problem with Mick Gordon manifested, even before that, there's always been stuff going down with Doom, both with games or the movies. That's a rocky subject to approach, but so on and so forth. So yeah, next week's episode is going to be a full Doom retrospective. I'm hoping to make it about 10, maybe 15 minutes, give or take. We'll see how long it goes. And yes, when Dark Ages comes out, I'm going to give it a fair shake. I'm going to play it straight through. I'm not going to, play a few minutes and then, give you my impressions on it. I did that with Armor Core 6, or the Fire of the Rubicon, and I still haven't even beaten that game yet. I'm stuck on Chapter 3 right now. Anyways, long story short, I'm going to play Dark Ages through start to finish and give you my honest-to-God breakdown on it, because I know a lot of people are upset over Mick Gordon's departure. I don't blame him in any way, shape, or form. Honestly, I'm surprised he didn't get lawyers involved and sued people, but I get it. It's Bethesda. They didn't have to win. All they had to do was outspend him until he was broke. That's because these guys are multi-billionaire companies. They don't have to win. They just got to outspend you. But that said, a lot of people also mentioned with Dark Ages coming out, it looks like it's so much slower than Eternal, and people hailed Doom Eternal for being such a fast-paced game. You practically were running around at Sonic the Hedgehog level speeds, blowing away, ripping and tearing demons apart. It was pretty sweet, I'm not going to lie. So, we'll give it a chance, because the devs, again, devs never been really too honest when gamers notice stuff, Gamergate, that's a real thing. But they've said, oh yeah, that was a demo based on the lower difficulty setting, but as you increase difficulty, like up to Ultra Nightmare, the speed of the game naturally increases, which is true enough for the other games, but I don't know if that's them being honest, because we didn't see them set the difficulty setting before they played the demo. So we're going to have to just take their word for it, with a grain of salt. I'll reserve judgment until the game comes out, and we'll see what's what. But yeah, I'm hopeful, because I've been playing Doom since the beginning, all the way back in the 90s on the original format, DOS, I was over at one of my dad's friend's place. It was a pool party, and all the kids were inside. They weren't even at the pool. And I go, okay, well, where are the kids at, I'll hang out with there. And sure enough, they're all huddled around a computer, and within 2 minutes, I'm blown away. It's like, what am I even looking at? This is the first time in a video game setting I've ever seen blood and guts, gore, violence, mature, 18 or 17 rated mature violence in a video game. Like I didn't even think video games were allowed to do that before I watched this game. Someone else play this game, and I go, what is this? And they say, oh, it's this new game called Doom. Yeah, you just run around killing zombies and demons. And next thing you know, he demonstrates how awesome the game is by shooting a bazooka at a zombie, and just the splatter and the noise it makes. I was ensconced. Within 5 minutes, I was hooked for life. After that, Doom 2 comes out. Final Doom, which is more or less an overglorified map pack of in a real way harder difficulty setting. Years later, I would find myself playing Doom 64. It was actually, when I first got my own 64, I bought 2 games with the 64. I saved up for like a year and a half of allowance and chores to afford a 64 and 2 games. First game I bought was Shadows of the Empire and Doom 64. Oh God, Doom 64, I tell you, it's just, holy crap. It scared me, because the way they used lighting effects in that game, it was spooky, and all the bad guys, the redesigns were way more sinister looking and very demonic. It scared me more than Doom 3 did. And that's saying something, because Doom 3 was deliberately going for the scares, and that's the game a lot of people see as a low point of the series, and I get it. id Software, they've taken artistic challenges, and they've also taken risk, but with their franchise in one form or another as the years went on, and I think by and large they paid off. And Doom 3, even though a lot of people didn't really like the slower paced, shadowy, jump scare tension type approach, like they're trying to make it like a Resident Evil type game, and that's not what Doom was based on. It's fast paced, testosterone, blowing demons up, just crazy. And but still, because this game really pushed, Doom 3 really pushed story beats into the franchise, I think that's in part why Doom 2016, as well as Eternal, had story in it, albeit in a smaller portion, Yeah, that's true. They were smaller, but it I think a lot of it is thanks to Doom 3 because, at the same time, if they want to tell some sort of narrative, if they wanted to make Eternal in 2016 connected to the original games, they want to say, oh, Slayer is the Doom guy, they had to make it story. So it worked out in their favor, in my humble opinion. 1 second. Getting some cotton mouth. All right. So, yeah, the new guys composing, they got an okay resume. I mean, some of these games I've played, not bad. I know Borderlands and Crackdown have huge fan bases, so they clearly must have done something right. But we'll see how it goes. I'll reserve judgment until it comes out. So that's about it for this part of the stream when it comes to Doom related. All right, I'm just going to turn off the green screen now. But there's also more I want to talk about because sometime next year, 2016, assuming everything goes well and with production, sometimes that just doesn't happen, but Fallout Season 2 is coming out. And I just found out shortly before the stream, Macaulay Culkin, Mr. Home Alone himself, he's actually going to be in the Fallout universe. And you know what? I think this is a terrific opportunity. I mean, you got literally the Kevin McAllister of himself in a post-apocalyptic, goofy setting of Fallout's universe. Oh my God. If they can get Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci to do like a Marvin Harry shtick in a Fallout setting with Macaulay Culkin, I mean, would that not be amazing? That would be hilarious. I mean, could you imagine instead of throwing like paint jars or whatever or little Tonka toys at the wet bandits in the wasteland, instead he's got like mini nukes or something like that for Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci. I think that would be hilarious, or some sort of crazy antics like that in the Fallout setting. That would be hysterical. I would love to see how Macaulay Culkin is properly utilized in Fallout Season 2. Now, I have a question for everyone who's still watching. Does anyone know if Fallout Season 1 from Amazon, did that ever get a physical release? I know Sony's stopping Blu-ray production, and yes, I know you can get, knockoffs and bootlegs from, shifty sites on the internet, but no, has there ever been an official, Blu-ray release of Amazon's Fallout Season 1? Because honestly, I love Season 1. It was great. I mean, the fact that on Amazon of all places, they're super woke a lot of the time, but they had a female main character protagonist, and the show wasn't woke. They showed her struggle. They showed her appreciating help when it's offered. She doesn't turn it down, and she just does a great job of portraying a likable character. I mean, this is good. What? All right. Hamid Khan, hey, what is the behind you? What's behind me? Oh, Transformers action figures and DVD Blu-ray collection. Long story short, I like to use this as a backdrop because that's what the Gaming Helm is. It's a geek variety channel. So I'm all about the variety. If you're just tuning in now, we just talked about for the first 15 minutes about Doom, Dark Ages, but now we sort of moved on to Fallout and my hopes for Season 2. And honestly, I think the Ghoul, the cowboy guy, yeah, I've seen him play like in The Shield, or he's been in a couple of Quentin Tarantino movies. That guy, he's got talent. And honestly, I really hope they make the Ghoul have a spin-off series. He's that good. I think he can hold a show completely on his own because I think there's a lot of story behind this character because he's been alive since the bombs fell. So he's been alive for like, what, 200 plus years? That tells me, like, I mean, I don't know if they can squeeze all that kind of lore, all that story in just as a side character in the primary Fallout series. I think he needs a spin-off if we're going to learn all about this guy, straight up. So I'm excited. Yep, there's a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipes in the gaming world. And, yeah. 1 second. Yep. Also, a little sidebar here. I know with the FNAF series, Five Nights at Freddy's, since I'm an Xbox player, yeah, I know, Xbox sucks, whatever, okay, I like the backwards compatibility. I collect physical media, and Xbox likes the, backwards compatibility, so I don't have to, replace all my physical copies of 360 or Xbox One with digital. I can just keep playing the disc in a Series X. you know, because it has a disk drive and everything's compatible. Anyways, point I'm trying to make is with the FNAF series, we're always on the Xbox side of things, we always seem to get stuff last. Like Security Breach came out almost a whole year after PlayStation got it. I get it. If there's deals signed, it is what it is. That's just business. And later on this year, in March, we're getting Help Wanted 2 finally on the Xbox. And in June, we're getting The Pit. The one that's based on the novel Fazbear's Frights, The Pit. Same name, same premise. You know, the ball pit that turns into a time machine somehow. I don't even know. That's a crazy concept, and quite frankly, I'm a little bit excited about it because it's a pixelated side scroller, but those games can still be really spooky. I've seen gameplay already, and I have not spoiled nothing for myself. I want to go in this raw. I want this to be like a genuine experience for me, so I'm excited that I get my hands on 2 physical pieces of media because I've been playing every FNAF game. Most of them, the ones that I have, are digitals because, again, even on PC, there's no such thing as physical media anymore for PC, so a lot of people can only ever buy these games digitally. But I believe in physical media because that's true consumer ownership. When you buy a disc, you own it. They can't mess with it. They can't take it away. But if you buy digital, they can take it away. They can mess with it, and there's nothing you can do about it. Legally, it's literally up to them at their own whims to do it. Oh, excuse me. I made con. I love to play games. Call of Duty World War. Oh, you mean Call of Duty World War II? Yeah, I agree. That's actually my favorite COD. I did a video on that a couple of months ago. Check it out if you want. The title of that video is called My Favorite COD and Why. You should check that out. Honest to God, I love the COD series too. There's been some shit games. Yes, this is true. But there have also been some gem games. I love World War II. I know the promotion for that game, they really went all out by saying boots on the ground a lot, but whatever. Honestly, when I got a chance to play it, I loved it. So, yeah. And to acknowledge something with the channel's growth, we already passed 2,100 subs. That's insane. Because just this Friday's episode was me thanking everyone for 1,000 subs, the 1,000 subs special, and I just, it's already grossly out of date. I had to actually put a comment about that in the section for the video. Yeah, if you get a chance, it's just a 6.5 minute long vid, but it does a better job than I can right now explain how grateful I am that the channel's growing so fast. We passed over 1,000 subs, so the next hurdle the channel wants to overcome is 4,000 watch hours, and I'm pretty confident that in time, yes, it will come in due course. Just got to keep pushing forward and keep doing what we're doing, because honestly, I think we're doing a good job, and it's all thanks to you, the viewers. Yeah. And so if you get a chance, yeah, Hamid, if you wanna, Mr. Conser, if you wanna watch my favorite COD and why, it's in the videos. Or if any one of you want to check out the my 1K special, it's this Friday's episode, just 6.5 minutes. I put a lot of heart into that one, genuine and sincerity, and I also right now mean it as I say it. Thank you all so much for being incredible. Thank you. And yeah, that's essentially it. Yeah, I love COD. Through the good times and the bad, but still, I think the zombie mode keeps me coming back for more, because I think COD World War II zombie mode is the best of the best, because it has that reactive AI. It waits for you to go around a blind corner and jump scares you, so it's smarter than the other zombie modes that I personally played throughout the other COD games. And the story, the campaign mode of COD World War II, it's just gripping. You have a great characters, great cast, and they honor and respect history. They take some chances that a lot of other studios shied away from. So yeah, I think they did a great job, and that's why, long story short, why COD World War II is my fave. But beyond that, yeah, if you're just tuning in now, we covered Season 2, Fallout Season 2. Yeah, Fallout Season 2, Macaulay Culkin's been cast, and hope he does a great job. He's a great actor, and it's great to see after all these years he's finally getting some more work, because I know that dude's gone through some rough times, but he looks like he's bounced back. He's got it together. Power to you, Macaulay. Way to go. I saw your career take off in the 90s, so it's good to see you back in the saddle. Good stuff, buddy. And yeah, Doom Dark Ages, Got some concerns, obviously, but I'm also hopeful, and I will reserve all judgment until I get a chance to get my hands on a copy of the game and play it for myself. We'll see what happens after that. 2 seconds. Anyways, if you got any questions, fire away in the comments section. I'm open. I like to engage with my audience. Yeah, I basically covered everything I wanted to say, and we still got a good like 5-ish minutes left before I decide to wrap up the stream. So if you got any questions, fire them away. I'm all ears. Yeah. Don't be shy. Yep. Apart from that, yeah, like I said, if you're just joining us now, next week's episode is going to be a Doom retrospective because May 15, Dark Ages is coming out. So if you're interested, see you next Friday. If not, totally cool. Either way. Yep. Aside from that, yeah, just it's good to see that some gaming studios are all about quality over, pressures from, people like Sweet Baby Inc. trying to force their ideologies down everyone's throat when no one asked for it, And I think Doom was always a safe bet. Like every Doom game that I've ever played has been a wild ride. It's been a celebration of testosterone and masculinity as an escape, not to shit on other people, but it's just great guilty pleasure fun. I've watched the first Doom movie. It wasn't the greatest movie of all time, but the first person shooter sequence at the end of the movie was legit. Loved it. In fact, you know what? They should do a Doom movie just like that, start to finish, first person sequence, because they have, I've seen personally movies done in a first person sequence before. It can be done. Like that zombie movie that came out a couple of years called Pandemic, first person sequence, start to finish of the movie, or Hardcore Henry. That whole movie was crazy, and it was done first person view perspective. It has been done, and I want to see a live action Doom movie, first person perspective, start to finish. It doesn't have to continue on Carl Urban's story, Grimm from the first movie, and it doesn't have to. Oh God, please don't let it be a sequel to Doom Annihilation. That movie was so bad, so bad. I mean, it was so bad when the trailer for that movie first came out. Bethesda immediately went on their Twitter and said, "We had nothing to do with this movie, nothing." They completely distanced themselves right out of the gate. So that means that steaming turd was destined to flop harder than a pancake, and sure enough, it was a direct-to-DVD release anyway. It was so bad. Not to mention there was some controversies, and you know what I'm talking about, before the movie even launched, so I think that thing was doomed to fail right out of the gate, no pun intended. So yeah, I think Doom can be a great movie, but do it first-person perspective. I know those movies aren't necessarily taken seriously by Hollywood, but it has been done in other forms of media before. It can be done. I want it to get done because I think there's still a legit chance Doom in a movie setting can be done right. So let's, fingers crossed, but yeah, it's Universal who owns it, and they only made that Annihilation movie. That way they can hang on to the rights for another 10 or so years, as is the business in Hollywood, right? If you wait too long, then you lose the rights to the license, and it can be bought off by the competition. So hopefully they make a smart move and make a good movie, and then hopefully Dark Ages is a great game, because that might actually help. Good numbers in a video game, Hollywood smells the opportunity, then they're definitely going to swoop in and make a movie off of that, because that's usually how it works. Like the original Doom that came out in 2005, the movie came screaming off the success, despite not controversy, but despite hating, a lot of people hating Doom 3. It still sold really well. It made a lot of money, so naturally the live action movie Doom did swoop in, and Hollywood made a movie based off of Doom 3 loosely, but you get the point, right? So if the game does well, hopefully we'll get a movie, and let it, for the love of God, let it be in a first-person perspective. Yeah. All right. I think that's a good spot to end it now. Just about at the half-hour mark, and I got stuff to do. You know, the snow's starting to finally melt. We're getting a lot of wind today, but at long last, it looks like we're getting into the warm months. About time. This is one of the most brutal winters we've had in Ontario in years. Like, I'm talking almost a decade here. So this was a tough one. We finally made it through on the other side. So yeah, we can all just move on and enjoy a nice comfortable spring, and then we're all gonna sweat our asses off when the summer hits, because we always get hot and sticky humid summers around here. What are you gonna do, right? I mean, you can't choose where you live, I guess, sometimes, but whatever. Oh jeez, a bunch of people just showed up. Yeah, it was just, sorry, latecomers. I'm about to wrap it up. If you want, you could check the stream out at your own discretion whenever you want. If you got a chance, like for a 6.5 minute video, this Friday's episode was me thanking everyone for 1,000 subs, and it's already out of date because we just shot into 2,100. All right. So, as always, this is a good spot to wrap it up, I think. Thanks a lot for tuning in and hanging at the helm. It's always a good time. Yeah, you have yourselves a great day, and we'll see you soon.